morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always, told out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to have a look at one of those cards that the first time you look at it, you're like, oh, that's nice. Don't really believe it though. And then it turns out that it is in fact completely real and legit and above board. It is a real card. It is an Indonesian exclusive Pikachu card. Now, the actual name of the card is Pikachu Berkemasia Batik or something along those lines. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. My knowledge of the Indonesian language is poor. Alright? English? Alright. Japanese, weirdly kind of getting there and making a lot of progress and feeling pretty good about it. Indonesian? Nah, mate. Not for me. I am sorry. But we're going to be calling it Indonesian Pikachu or Pikachu's Indonesian Journey or something along those lines because it is a new promo and it is real and it is legit and it is out there. Now, it's being given out in Indonesia, shockingly enough. And from what I understand, it's wearing... well, batik, which is an Indonesian pattern. And there's something very important about that. And that is that this is a very Indonesian card. This is one of those cards where I feel extremely confident in saying this is never being released outside of Indonesia. This isn't one of those cards where, well, it's out in Indonesia now, but give it a little bit of a while and it will show up here, there, and everywhere. This seems like one of those cards which is in Indonesia and will be staying in Indonesia. Think things like the On the Ball cards. As soon as we saw the On the Ball cards, we knew with a very high degree of certainty that these were just not appearing elsewhere. You know, Pikachu and Eevee are on the screen here. They're wearing England football kits. It's not even like a UK thing or a Great Britain thing. This is an England thing. It is Pokemon doing a crossover with the English Football Association, wearing English football kits, and these weren't even available in Wales and Scotland. For those of you that may not know, Wales and Scotland are literally attached to England, or a little island, and it would make sense to have promos around all of them. And if it never got a release in Wales and Scotland at the time, we could look at this and go, oh yeah, no, this is definitely 100% an England exclusive promo. And it is, incidentally, an English exclusive promo. Never got released anywhere else. And we saw the same thing with the Taipei Pikachu a little while ago, a few weeks back. This was released in December to celebrate the opening of the Pokemon Center in Taipei. But again, if you look at the card, it's very, very clearly Taipei Pikachu. This is for the Pokemon Center Taipei. It's very, very themed. It's got the Pokemon Center Taipei stamp on. And this is one of those ones where we can look at and go, nah, it's not happening. There is absolutely no way this is actually being released anywhere else. Whereas sometimes we can look at cards and we can look at like the Pikachu that was a pre-order promo, for instance, was a pre-order promo over in Japan. We knew we were going to get that at some point. We were always going to get that at some point because this was just like a random card that was a pre-order promo for Scarlet and Violet. Now, when we got it, admittedly, it wasn't actually for the Scarlet and Violet games, and therefore we didn't actually have the game logos on, but we got it as a promo for the Paldea Evolved Elite Trainer box, and it was the same card with just the game logos taken off. And this is not an exact science, and I'm not saying I'm going to be right about it all the time, but I am saying there are some promos you can look at, like that Pikachu, and go, oh no, that's going to be making its way around the world, that's going to be fine. And there's other ones like the On the Ball promos, the Taipei Pikachu, and this one, where one look at them should tell you the chances of this getting an international release are basically zero. As I tell you every time something like this comes up, when I say basically zero, I mean basically zero. I don't mean actually zero. There is always a chance that Pokemon decide to push this out somewhere else. I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's legit. But we do need to at least acknowledge the fact it could happen. Very unlikely. Don't think it will. Technically could. Now, one of the things that is weird about this, and one of the things which has led to some of the confusion a little bit, is if you go onto the Pokemon Indonesia Instagram, they've got a bunch of stories, including ones that, revolve around this Pikachu. Like the top story, Pikachu at ID, we got Pikachu's Indonesia journey there. We've got an official thing with Come Explore Indonesia on the official Pokemon Indonesia Instagram. So the Pikachu itself is clearly legit, and they're clearly pushing this as a thing, but they're not showing off the card. That's what's super weird to me. There doesn't appear to be a post on Instagram where they're like, hey, look at this amazing new card. Have you seen this amazing new card? They're just like, hey, Pikachu's running around Indonesia. Have you seen this? This is kind of cool. Which is weird to me. This is very, 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 very weird to me. Now, it seems to be there is a pop-up store over in Indonesia, and essentially you go along, buy some stuff, get the card. It does not seem to be that it's a particularly rare or difficult to get hold of card. Remember, the Type A Pikachu was not a difficult card to get. Like, now don't get me wrong, if you're not in Taipei, it was significantly harder. But over in Taipei, this was a card that was just freely given out at the opening of the Pokemon Center. And I've asked a couple of people over in Taipei about this, and they basically said, yeah, if you were there, it was easy. Now, obviously, if you're not there, it's not always that easy. That's pretty obvious. But it seems to be a similar kind of thing. It seems to be that if you are over there at the time, you can go and pick this up. It seems to be going until Valentine's Day. So it seems to be pretty available, which is lovely. Now, with it already being out there and that the promotion has started, it is already being given out. What have we got here in terms of prices? Well, I found a listing over on UK eBay, and it is being sold for £47.50 with £10.50 postage. So this is one of those listings where you need to be a little bit careful because it's actually a little bit of a lie. And I'm not saying it's anything too untoward. I'm saying £10.50 postage is quite expensive. And I'm saying a lot of listings like this just include the postage in the price. This one doesn't. And, if you have a look down below, the listing underneath that is the rather lovely Indonesian Pikachu. This is actually another video game pre-order, but just so happened to be given out at KFC in Indonesia. It was a game pre-order thing in Japan. It was a KFC thing in Indonesia. Delighted to say I have this card. But that's got free postage. So some of them, it's up there about £10. Some of them, it's free. Just be careful is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's a little bit misleading because the postage is very expensive. And it's because it's coming from Indonesia, right? I'm just saying be careful. Some people build the postage into their price and some people don't. Over on eBay US, it's available at about $50 to $55, including postage. There are a bunch of listings. I'm not going to go through all of them for pretty obvious reasons. But over on eBay US, there's just a bunch of listings. They all tend to be $40 to $45 with $9 shipping. So they're out there. They're available. Is $50 to $55 a good price for this? I mean, it's not amazing, obviously. But it's another one of those, like, if you're flying to Indonesia and having to try and pick it up yourself, that's going to get super duper expensive. So, at the risk of sounding a little bit obvious, the market is going to land where the market lands. That's where it seems to be around about the $50 mark at the moment. But these are in theory being given out till Valentine's Day. So that means that a lot more of these are going to be made available. Hopefully, hopefully what's going to happen is that the market is going to get flooded with these over the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be nice and easy. And the price is going to come down and down and down, and it's going to be wonderful. And these are going to be more available, and everyone's going to be delighted. Obviously, that might not happen. The price of this might just keep going up and up and up, and if it does, it does. There's not really very much we can do about that. So, fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Fingers crossed that more get out there, price comes down, and everybody's happy. Right, that's what you need to know, and now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this card. Have you picked it up? Do you want to pick it up? How do you think this compares to stuff like Type A Pikachu and the On The Ball promos? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. Oh, and get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Mary Sanders Lazenby, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing is always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.